Hello, everybody. How are yous? I'm just letting everybody in from the waiting room right now. Let me push some more buttons here as well. There we are. Oh my gosh. So, welcome to another Ask Before You Buy coaching call, Q&A, whatever you want to call it. And to be honest, whatever way you want to use this. I am Laura Hutchinson. If I haven't met you before, I'm the director of training at the Sculpted Menopause and the Sculpted Vegan, our two companies under the Sculpted brand. And I am at your beck and call tonight to answer absolutely any questions about, first and foremost, the app, how it works, how to use the app if you want to use it in general for sort of general muscle building, fat burning goals. If you want to join for the Buns and Guns Challenge, how it works, literally how to work it. I can show you how to work it, how we teach how to muscle build in the app or in our programs. We teach how to burn fat in our programs, how any of the coaching works and anything you want to know about the company, about me, just ask away. I will answer anything and everything very truthfully. We've got our chat box going on here, which is awesome. So I've got Char, you've got you on, Crystal, Debbie. I'm so happy to see you, Debbie. I haven't seen you in a little while. So lovely to see your face. And we've got Celeste. Let me just see who else is on as well. Donna, Sarah, Teresa, Karana. Yeah, so many. Celeste, brilliant, and Barbara Trina, and more's coming in. So I think it'll take a couple of minutes, everybody, to get in and remember the calls on today. And it's a wee bit confusing at the moment because in the US, you had daylight savings about a week and a half ago now. We have daylight savings in a week and a half's time at the end of the month. And we'll be back to kind of our more regular times where it's like 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Eastern, but I know it's 3 p.m. Eastern at the moment for you guys. So a little bit confusing sometimes when we get out of tune with our daylight savings. Oh, everybody's coming in now, which is brilliant. So everyone's coming in from the waiting room, which is amazing. Any questions, fire them in the chat box. I'm pretty sure I saw two questions in the Mastering Perimenopause and Menopause group, so I will come to that as well. App questions, program questions, please do let me know. So any like technical questions, I literally helped build the app. I pretty much live in the app. I have somehow turned into an app builder. Never saw this happen a couple of months ago. We've transitioned nearly to a tech company now, which is an interesting turn of events, considering up until 4 years ago, I was completely offline. I was a personal trainer. Before COVID, basically, I was a personal trainer. I taught gymnastics. I was a fitness instructor. I did that right from I was 18 and I left school until, oh my gosh, I'm 30. I'll be 38 this year. So, oh, it's like 18 to like 34, I think was when I joined the company, the Sculpted Vegan and then the Sculpted Menopause as the head trainer and now the director of training. So like I could barely use my phone, never mind use a computer. It was a massive learning curve joining the company and learning how to work on this. And now we're running an app and working an app. So honestly, if you struggle with tech, I totally get it. I've had a steep learning curve when it comes to laptops, phones, apps, and everything. So anything that you need help with, I'll probably have struggled with it myself and I'll have found a solution for you. So got some questions here, which is amazing. I'm going to dive into them. Anything else that comes up, send it to me. And again, any like real like menopause specific questions you've got, perimenopause to menopause, open to answer all that as well. Because really with the Sculpted Menopause app, the reason that we created it was it just has been the direction that our company has been going for quite a while. I guess nearly in the way our founder, Kim Constable, as Kim ages, like she's nearly 45 now, she's the face of the company. So she is, that's who she attracts. You know, all of our customers are in the age range from 40 right up to 80. Like we have women in their 80s who train in the gym, who have like these glorious muscles. Like it's so amazing to see. So like that is our tribe and always has been our tribe, which is sort of the 40 to now 80-year-old women. It's really, really amazing who we attract. So your vibe is your tribe and that is who you attract. So of course, it is that peri to postmenopause market, and we're just really, really trying to cater to it. We did create an app once before, and we thought that app was what our customers wanted, and we created the app for them. And then we realized that they wanted to change everything in the app. We created an app which had our programs in it, but then they wanted to change all the workouts, all the meal plans. They wanted to change everything, which makes sense because women like to change things a lot. Whenever they get a plan, they're like, could I like add a little bit of this in? I don't really like that food. Um, I know you said cardio, but could like I swim instead of like the treadmill? Like we just like to change everything. So in this app, the Sculpted Menopause, we let you run riot. You can change anything that you want to. And it's something we really built into the plan because we just know that women like to do that, but we also understand peri to postmenopause, it's a wild ride. So you need the customization of, maybe it is a 3-day training program is all you can commit to at the moment and all you want to commit to. But there's also 4-day and 5-day if you want to. There is follow along workouts that you can just kind of pick and choose each day depending on what you fancy, because maybe your sleep is terrible at the moment, like you're up all night with insomnia, hot flashes, and you're just not in the mood in the morning to get up and like bust your ass with like a 60-minute workout. You just want to do like a 15-minute full body dumbbell workout and just be pat yourself on the back that you did something. So we've got all of that built into there. We have our team of coaches. I'm a menopause expert. I've been studying it since my 20s because, again, when I was a personal trainer, that was my clientele. It was the sort of 40 to 60-year-old woman who was in my classes and who came to me as clients. So since my 20s, when I had no personal interest to be studying peri to postmenopause, I was, because I wanted to help my clients. You've got Kim, we have all of our coaches are peri to postmenopause, and we have our amazing Dr. Rachel, who is the realest of the menopause experts. She is a gynecological surgeon and she is on hand in the groups. And also tomorrow, she is going to be taking an Ask a Doctor call as part of these calls. So the graphic is already in the Facebook group, so in the Mastering Peri to Postmenopause Facebook group. And you can pre-ask questions under that. So even if you can't make it live, don't miss this opportunity to literally ask any of your menopause questions to a doctor for free. And she's just so lovely and just really get an answer, because another thing we're very passionate about, and especially Kim, and I'm kind of going here while I let the questions build up and I will get dived into them. Kim, with her journey, really in the past couple of years, has been a bit of a rocky journey in perimenopause. And you'll have heard her speak about that, with sore joints, aching muscles, low mood, low energy, insomnia, terrible, terrible periods, viruses that come with it. She's had a really, really hard time with it. Now she is on HRT, which some of you will be interested in, some of you aren't. That's not what we're here to talk about. It's not what I'm here to advise on, but she is now on HRT, which has massively helped her. But even her journey to get to being prescribed HRT, like she had to go private in Northern Ireland. So we're part of the UK, Belfast in Northern Ireland. That's where I am with my funny accent. But to be honest, it seems to be not too bad to eventually track down a doctor for some help. I know, especially in America, especially in countries where you're paying for your healthcare, it just seems to be a lot harder sometimes to find someone to really listen to you, somebody who doesn't kind of just send you away and, just try and pass it off as like, oh, like, here, have some antidepressants for your low mood, or like I don't know, put some anti-inflammatory gel on your sore joints. It's quite hard to get listened to sometimes. So one thing we're so passionate with having Dr. Rachel is that we have someone here in your here for you to really, really listen and help you be heard. And Rachel's kind of like I don't know, like your secret agent doctor, because she can kind of tell you how, like the things to say to doctors to get them to listen to you. So she's just so wonderful to have. So definitely use and abuse her tomorrow and ask her any questions. You can pre-ask them on the graphic. Okay, questions have built up. I'm going to dive into them. Just keep firing them at me in the chat box. And I will look at the Facebook group after as well, because there were two there. Jade, what's the last day to buy the app at 50% off? What day is today? Today is So the 19th of March. So I believe we're extending that offer into next week into when it's onboarding, but I believe it's going to be ending once the challenge starts on the 31st of March. Oh my gosh, like how fast is this? January just dragged by, and now this year is going faster and faster. What is onboarding week? You're like, huh, got this ask to buy onboarding, all this crazy words going around. So the actual Buns and Guns challenge starts on Monday, the 31st of March. It will run for 8 weeks. It is our one of our like most popular challenges that we've now adapted to the app. We've got all the flexibility of the training programs in it. We have vegan, a vegetarian, and omnivore meal plans to choose from, where you can also amend them in our nutrition tracker and scanner. So again, you've got structure of a challenge. Well, you've got motivation of a challenge and $10,000, which really can be quite motivating to keep you going over 8 weeks. You have the motivation of the community and the fun, but you have the structure of the instructions and like a set plan of the challenge of, training 3, 4, or 5 days a week. Cardio is every day, but can just be a power walk. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, just literally a power walk twice a day. And then also you've got your calorie drop of food from 1,500 to 1,400 to 1,300. But in the meal plans, they're really varied and they're really delicious. So there's like ice cream, cookies, and there's like nice, like it's not just like lettuce leaves and like air. You don't have to just eat nothing for those events. So it's dieting made as enjoyable as dieting can be. Like dieting's not that enjoyable, but we try our best to really, really help you with it. So you've got that structure happening. Onboarding is where we do like bonus coaching calls. So these are completely part of the app. You don't have to have the coaching upgrade. I'm going live next Monday. Kim's going live next Tuesday. And again, Dr. Rachel will be going live next Thursday. Now, this is part of, if you're part of the app. And again, just to answer any questions of anybody, like, what cardio will I choose? What level of training should I do? I'm away for the weekend on week 4 of the challenge. How will I stick to the plan? All of those kind of good questions. We just get everybody prepped, we get everybody organized, because it is overwhelming. You always want to do like well in a challenge and well for your goals. And it can be a bit overwhelming at the start. Like it can be overwhelming now deciding if you want to join the app or not. So I always like to provide coaching calls just to help you make the right decision. Oh, Debbie said, excited about your new body transformation. Yes. So you might not know me, but if you do, I'm pregnant now, so that's quite new that's my new journey in the company. And well, not really in the company, in my life. It's a new journey trying to work and be pregnant. Oh my gosh. So I'm 15 weeks and it is an experience because it is just the tiredness. Oh my gosh. The sickness, the constipation, the bloating, like all the good stuff. And I have to laugh because I recorded 2 of the workouts for Buns and Guns, and Kim was like, she's like, "You're not hiding this baby bump in your video." She was winding me up. I thought I was like sucking it in really well, but apparently not. But oh my goodness, I had to re-record the first workout. So day 1 workout, I had to re-record it because I got baby brain the whole way through it. Halfway through, I realized that I hadn't even looked at the camera once. I was just like staring off into the ether, teaching to I don't know who. And I forgot sets, I forgot reps, and the whole thing was a mess. And I was like, oh my God. And I went in and told Kim after, I was like, Kim, it was the worst recording session I've ever had, like ever had. And Kim was like, now you know what perimenopause is like. And I totally get it, like the brain fog that I have now would be like what you guys maybe have, because it's all hormones, isn't it? It's estrogen, progesterone, testosterone flying about the place. And oh my gosh, the brain fog, like it's not just forgetfulness. I'll literally forget for like a good maybe 5 minutes what I'm doing. And I'll look at my diary and I'll look at my phone and I'll do all the things that used to jog my memory, and I still don't know what I'm doing. And eventually I'll come back to it. But yeah, it is yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's definitely all good. But yeah. But thank you for all the well wishes. Everybody's been very, very sweet with it. Shar, you have asked, just purchased the app today, but it says my password is incorrect. I asked to reset, but it won't send me the email. Okay, let me think about this one. So, what we've noticed is, first of all, sometimes there seems to be a little bit like a tiny, like little delay between when people join the app, then when they go to log in, where it hasn't been recognized. So, if you've maybe not given it a couple of minutes and tried again, maybe do that. I'm assuming you maybe have. If you write to support at the sculptedmenopause.com, so I'll just write this in here because anybody can use this email at any time. Support at the sculptedmenopause.com. Then we can do something in the back end to send you a new password link and get everything set up with you. So I do that and then we'll get that all organized to get you into there nice and quickly. Crystal, already purchased at the 12-month option. Will I have coaching for the challenge or will I need to upgrade? So unless you purchased the 12-month plus coaching, then the coaching, which is a small group Zoom calls, then you would need to upgrade. So there's kind of different levels of coaching. You get coaching every single day in the communities from me. Like literally this morning, the sculpted menopause is my first thought in the morning and my last thought at night. I'm always on my phone in in the Facebook groups. So like I was in the groups this morning for an hour and a half, just going around the Facebook groups, going around the app and answering all the questions. And it's not just me. You have a whole team of coaches. We have Coach Vanessa, who you had on yesterday, no, Monday. Vanessa's call was on Monday. You have Coach Vanessa, you have Dr. Rachel, you have Coach Dre. We have two new coaches now as well. Alex and Deborah, and then you also have our amazing coach Elka, who you might have seen in actually Kim's masterclass that she did. She had the most amazing transformation, one of her best transformations we ever had. So good that she won $100,000. It was so amazing. And they're all on hand in the group, as well as Kim. Like nowhere else in any company do you get the CEO and founder of a company still in the groups, in the communities on hand, or if she's not in the group, she is in the coaches chat that we have, coaching the coaches to go out and spread the good word and help you guys all with that. So you have that already in the communities. The coaching calls then are small group coaching calls just like this. You've got a Tuesday, which is 7 p.m. UK, with when there's not daylight savings time, that's 2 p.m. Eastern. That's either of myself on a Tuesday or Coach Vanessa. You have the same time on a Thursday with Coach Mark, who is absolutely nuts. We love Mark. He is so crazy. He's like the top bodybuilder in Northern Ireland. Like nothing he doesn't know about bodybuilding is worth knowing. And he's literally the only man in our company. Well, with men in the back ends, like part of like our like the team like working on the app and everything. He's the only man in our coaching team and only man allowed in our communities. And honestly, like the women just love him because he looks so scary. Like, let me show you Mark. He's a big, scary looking bodybuilder, but he's just a complete teddy bear. He has 5 kids. He's been married to his wife, Lee, for like forever and just absolutely adores them. All he does is either work or spend his time with his wife and his children, and he is just the sweetest person ever. There's Mark in his heyday of competing. He actually is back to competing again. So he is kind of big and scary, but he's a massive softie, and he's so sweet. And he's worked with thousands of clients and thousands of women. So again, what Mark doesn't know actually at times about many menopause or endometriosis or fibromyalgia, again, is not worth knowing because he just is so knowledgeable in the human body and everything else. So he is amazing. We're so lucky to have him. And then again, you have Dr. Rachel each month. When it comes to coaching calls and whether it's right for you, because it is, of course, an increased expense, on top of already having this app, and our app is not cheap. It definitely is not. It definitely is an investment that you're making, but it's an investment we're trying to give you back in all of the content we're continually adding to it, how we're evolving it and how we're building it. And it's not just an app, it is like a program. There's a purpose and a method and everything that we're doing to it. And we're here to get you results. We're not just getting people to join the app and then just leave you to flounder in the wilderness and just do a workout every now and again. We're here cracking the whip, trying to get you results in it. Well, one thing while I'm on it, with coaching for buns and guns, we're actually trying to set up a product at the moment, and we'll let anybody know where you could actually join that coaching upgrade just for the duration of the challenge. We're looking into that and how we can make that a little bit more affordable if anybody would be interested in that one. So you'll get an email about that soon. But when it comes to coaching or not, whether you need it or not, it just really depends what type of person you are when it comes to achieving your goals. What we can find is, so like, let's take our challenges, for example. So with our challenges, the oh my gosh, how to explain this? The goal of any of our challenges and any of our programs is to get every single person across the finish line. Like, that is our goal, and that is what we try to do so hard. But we can only go as far as, like, we can't actually go into your house and like drag you out of bed and shove you on the gym and, like, run after you on the treadmill and make you run faster or like grab the cookie out of your hand. I wish we could, but we can't do that. We go as far as we can, but at the end of the day, you have to do the program, you have to do the work at some point. But we try and keep you nice and motivated to do that. So we're always just trying to work out, how can we help people finish? How can we help people stick to a program? Because again, that's something that women aren't very good at, sticking to a program. We get very easily distracted. It's like intermittent fasting one week. The next week it's like the 252 diet. I'm making things up now. The next week it's keto. And I'm jumping about here, but I have a point to my story. Recently, like, both Kim and I joined a lot of menopause support groups just to just kind of be a part of them and really just get a gist of what's going on and what menopausal women need and all of their questions. We're always looking in the groups for what you guys are asking, but we kind of just broadened our field to look kind of further. And it really, really scares me because these groups are full of thousands of women asking thousands of questions all day, and the misinformation that gets shared in it is nuts. So somebody will be asking about like their cortisol levels, like that always comes up. Women in menopause are always worried about their cortisol levels, but it's because you keep getting told to worry about your cortisol levels. So of course you're worrying about them, and you keep getting told that your high cortisol, which is making you hold on to fat, when actually it's probably just you're just eating too much and not moving as much as you used to, and we want to help you with that. But oh my gosh, the answers, like, somebody had posted about their cortisol levels, and one woman was like, it's sugar. Your blood sugar levels are too low. You need to eat more sugar, and that will make it better. And that is like one of the worst things you can do. You need to actually move away from starchy carbs, which can have more of raise your blood sugar more in menopause, to more sort of lower slow carbs where your blood sugar doesn't spike as much. So I was like, no. And then another person was like, again, hot flashes. What's everybody doing for hot flashes? Apple cider vinegar. They're like, 3 spoonfuls of apple cider vinegar a day and your hot flashes will go away. Like, I don't think so. You can try it, but I don't think apple cider vinegar affects hormones, which is why it's causing your hot flashes. Like, it's just the craziest. Or there's just different people and they're like, well, I've got this supplement, and if you DM me, I will send you it. It's the people are just like poaching in the groups, sharing the craziest of information, probably with the best intent because somebody else told them that. And it's just, it's sad because there's so many women desperately needing help. That's why they're asking the questions. But then the answers that they're getting given, I know will not help them. It's just really, really like, oh gosh, this is just a bit of a mess. And I think somehow it's a bit of a mess because there's just not that much help out there. And even, when you look at these experts online, a lot of that is sometimes just to sell you a supplement or sell you some um weird diet plan, or just sell you something, or there's an aim to it, which isn't what it's at. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the challenges. Well, with that, yes, women like to chop about a lot, but again, I get it from those groups. There's a lot of misinformation. You don't know what is the plan to stick to. You just don't know because so much stuff's coming at you. You have so many options and you don't know which is the right one with it. But when it comes specifically to our challenges, we're always trying to work out the way to get the most people across the finish line. And honestly, no matter what we do, no matter how much money we dangle as a carrot for prize money, no matter whether we try and do that prize money as like a monthly prize, a weekly prize, an end prize. We've tried no prize money, and that really did not work for my motivation. We've tried so many different things. Um, Really, at the end of the day, there's only about sort of 10 to 20% of people who ever finish our challenges. And it is just the nature of that people start with heaps of motivation and they just drop off as time goes on. And we're really just trying to keep you to stick with that. So you might be one of those people who drop off. You might not. When it comes to our winners, it's always quite interesting in our challenges because um it's not like it's 10 winners who are all part of the coaching calls. I wish I could say that to promote it. It's not true. There's a real mixed bag in there. And honestly, sometimes you'll just start to find people come out of the woodwork and you're like, who's that? Like, I don't recognize her name at all. And it's just been somebody who they didn't really interact in the community. They weren't part of the coaching calls. They're just the type of person that they just like to take a plan, do the plan, get their head down, and get things done. Some people are like that. So if you're somebody like that, the coaching calls might not be for you. It just might not be something that helps you move towards your goal. But then for a lot of women, they're not like that. There's frequent questions from them in the Facebook group, as there should be. That's what we're here for. And people will very openly share their struggles. And there's just kind of this aspect. I love seeing everybody's faces on these community calls. You kind of create like a little community inside the community, and you see familiar faces in the chat and familiar names, even just on the screen. Whether you're joining in work or your pajamas or whatever, you just join whatever way that you can. For some people, it just keeps them really accountable because every day at 2 p.m. they show up, every Thursday at this time. Or if you can't show up live, just set it like, your cardio each day. Your cardio on a Wednesday, you're going to catch up on the Tuesday call. Your cardio on a Friday, you're going to catch up on that Thursday call with Mark. The Ask a Doctor call each month, you're going to get your question in on the graphics. You can pre-ask a question and then you'll listen up to it. So for some people, it's not the secret ingredient they need, but for some people, it is this like the secret sauce that kind of keeps them going and keeps them gelled. So that's really kind of coaching, whether it is for you or not. You just have to really think what will help move you closer to your goal. So for some people, that's like a real must too. And for some people, not so much. It's always up to you. CT is for Claudia. I did the abs if you love your style. Just question, how do we log it as completed? So abs. At the moment, bam, bam. Let me see here. At the moment, anything, I'll not bother screen sharing because there'll be a whole palaver. Anything that's in the training program section of the app, these are programs that you can log. So gym, home gym, and even the follow along. So in the way that you can, my internet's been very slow today. You can, oh, there's more. There's injury versions actually. You can start a program and it will eventually load. I was actually worrying about my Zoom because my internet was so slow earlier. So it'll come up. You've got all the different exercises. You can track your weights in, you can track your reps in, and you've got a little rest timer, and you can track all of that. So, Claudia, I'm going to actually answer your question in a second. I think you're talking about separate abs, which I'm going to come to and just explaining the difference. There is abs that are part of the main workouts, which again you can track there. But anything in this program section, you can track it in the way that it'll appear in this dashboard here, and you can toggle backwards and forwards. At the moment, anything that is in follow along class section, which I think you're asking about, Claudia. We've got dumbbells, cardio, yoga, and abs. We're going to be adding some meditation to this soon. Actually, we're getting some meditation recorded tomorrow by a lovely yogi Kate, as well as some more yoga. They at the moment, they can't be logged in the app, but we are building that capability. We just need to make a little the way it is at the moment, it's just I could put them in to be logged, but it's a little bit confusing. So we need some little tweaks made to it. So you can't log them just yet. But there is so many apps to work with. You've got apps with me. I can't remember. I put so many in. There's more to come. I'm gonna add more apps. I'm gonna write that down. Add more apps because we have more in the back end. Apps. Gonna add more abs with me, and then abs with EMA. There, it's a killer one, that one. So the capability to log them is coming very, very soon. We have a long list for our developers that we keep adding to of what we want, and they're working for it as fast as they can. Not as fast as we'd like them to, but as best as they can with it. Debbie, questions to lose weight. Supposed to eat 100 to 200 calories less than our TDEE. When I enter my information into the app, is that already calculated for my daily calories? Oh, good question. Okay. So let me, okay. So to answer Debbie and to give everybody a little demo at the same time of how everything works, do I want to screen share? Let me check and make a decision here. I might screen share. So in the app, it has basically a built-in TDEE formula calculation. What is that? Your total daily energy expenditure. So your total daily energy expenditure is the amount of calories that you would eat in the day to stay exactly as you are right now. So it takes into account your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. And that is like if I just lay in bed all day, oh, which would be heaven. I would love to do that right now. Lay in bed all day, did nothing, didn't move, got my partner Scott to bring me all my food, like fan me, carry me to the bathroom and back. That really sounds like heaven at the moment. But I did nothing in a day. I didn't move. It's like the amount of calories which would just keep me ticking over, keep all the organs going, feed this baby at the moment, just keep everything going and ticking over is your BMR. If someone is extremely sedentary, they actually really only need sort of the amount of calories, which are actually quite close, if not to their BMR, because maybe it's someone who's just like they have a desk job, excuse me, they're a real couch potato. And honestly, I heard something a couple of years ago and I was like, oh my goodness, like this really actually could be me. And it was like a gym couch potato. And I was like, a what? But when I looked into it, I was like, oh my gosh, I think that could be me because before I joined the company, before COVID, again, if you missed at the start, I was a personal trainer, a gymnastics coach, and a group fitness instructor. So I could do over 30,000 steps a day. Like some days it was close to 35,000 steps because I taught Zumba, Zumba Aqua, aerobics. I was on my feet as a personal trainer, and I was always walking up and down the gym, the gymnastics club that I used to work in. So, oh my gosh, by the end of the day, my calves were burning. They were so sore. But it was an easy way to keep fit and kind of manage my body fat because I was really, really super active. Fast forward then COVID, oh my gosh. I don't know what lockdown was like for you, but I literally went between my kitchen to my bedroom to my living room to my spare room. I worked basically, well, I worked in actually the NHS in the United Kingdom is the National Health Service. So I worked at the start of COVID in an NHS factory, packing medical equipment because I was self-employed. So I did not want to lose my house or my car or like money. So I ended up getting a job when my company essentially closed down. So I worked in a company doing that for a while, and then I worked in a like a medicinal picking line, packing pharmaceuticals for another while, which was another experience. Just trying to get by during COVID while I brought my business online. Very, very stressful, but very, very glad to do it. But when I wasn't doing that, and especially actually when I moved my business online and I didn't actually leave the house, like my steps were like 3,000 some days, like 2,000, 3,000. And I thought that was bad until I got a desk job. Like I do have a desk job now. And honestly, unless I say walk my dog, I've met, or maybe like I've went done a food shop, my step count really can still be like 4,000, 5,000 if I don't make an effort. And whenever I heard about this gym couch potato, I was like, it kind of makes sense because yes, I train in the gym 4 days a week, but that's only 45 minutes strength training. Like, so what? Not even 4 hours, like 3 to 4 hours of exercise in a whole week. And there's no cardio or no walking. So I have to make like a real effort with my fitness and getting my steps in. I really, really appreciate how hard it's to get 10,000 steps now. Like it really, really, really is. So I definitely am a lot more sedentary now with my desk job, and it's quite easy for a lot of people to be. But kind of circling back to it. So for some people, their calories can be quite low actually to their BMR because how you actually work out your full TDE, your full total daily energy expenditure, is you take your BMR and then you multiply it by your activity level, whether you're sedentary, light exercise, moderate, higher, um, high intensity. There won't really be many people doing that. And then that gives you a calorie amount to, again, eat to maintain how your physique is now. So for people who want to lose body fat, the idea is that then you eat less than that total daily energy expenditure because that means that the energy coming in is less than the energy coming out. And you're creating that deficit, that difference there. Body fat, how I love to think about body fat without judgment is just, it's just stored energy. That is all it is. You have just at times had more energy coming in than's been going out. So your body hasn't burnt it, it hasn't used it, it hasn't needed it, so it's stored it. Like that is literally all the body fat is, stored energy. And as someone who struggled with body image and body dysmorphia and binge eating like my life, um, I just find that like a helpful way to think about, take kind of the emotion out of it. You got stored fat, stored energy to lose at the moment. That's okay. We can work on that, but we just will work on that by creating that gap between the energy coming in and then the gap between the energy going out. So it's quite a cool way to think of it. If you're someone, so I'm answering your question, Debbie, just in a well-rounded way. If you're someone who is quite happy with where your body fat is at the moment, you don't have to lose that much, or you don't really have to lose it. You want to focus on building muscle. You can build a lot of muscle just kind of staying around that TDEE. You don't really have to eat on a surplus unless maybe you were someone who is extremely lean. You've hit all of your body fat goals. You're probably like a very experienced strength trainer and like a bodybuilder, and that's kind of the goal you'd be going for. Most women, especially in this program, you could just eat around that sort of TDE level, train hard and heavy, and build a lot of muscle. Even if you're dieting and focusing on losing body fat, you can still build muscle along the way because first and foremost, what builds muscle is strength training. So in the app and what Debbie will have used to get her calculations, we have the options of our goal, lose fat, gain muscle, or maintain weight. So let's go for lose fat. It then asks you to put your height in, your weight in, your birthday, and then also whether you are male and female. It asks you to put all of that in. I just typed I was 50 foot. I'm definitely not. Um, so with this, it takes all of this into account. Let me just find my birthday. September. Here we go. Okay. So I'll ask you for your details, and I'll have to go back, but basically there's a formula, a calculations. There's like 3 different calculations that calculate your TDEE. I think this uses the Saint Mythin de jour one, which is just what it's asked you for. So it's basically, your age, your height, your weight, and it also takes your goal into account with it. one thing I love about the app, and it was one thing I actually worried a bit about at the start, and then Kim was like, "Ah, it'll be fine," and it has been fine. But it's quite amused me. The app asks for your target weight. Um, whenever we're creating programs, and especially whenever anything like, well, part of my job, I'm always looking forwards and looking backwards. I'm always looking forwards into the future and trying to navigate problems and issues and prevent them from happening. So I can see problems everywhere, and I'm always trying to kind of get ahead of them. So when I saw this in the app, I was like, oh my God, I was like, Kim, like, what about if women like type in like they want to lose like 30 pounds in 7 days? I'm like, what are we gonna do? Because I try, because I'll like both Kim is the expert at breaking the app. Like the how we test the app is to try and break the app, and Kim is the queen at breaking it. The developers will hate us because we've broken it so many times, but we try and break it before you guys break it so then we can fix it. So I did try that. I tried putting like crazy weights in, crazy sort of fat loss targets over like very short periods of time. And if you put crazy amounts in, you get crazy amounts back. So the app would tell me like to eat like 400 calories a day. But then in Kim, I'm like, but what if the members start doing that? Like, what are we going to do? And Kim is like, she's like, Laura, if that tells anybody 400 calories, like they're gonna come to the groups. And people have come to the group. They're like, the app's telling me 60 calories or like 400 or 700. Like what's wrong with the app? It's like, no, no, no. What's wrong with your goal? Because the app does not lie. The app gives you the point that Kim made. Kim is like, no, Laura, this is really good because this is going to give women the reality data that if you have this goal and if you have this time frame, that crazy number is the amount of calories that you would have to eat in that time to get it. So it's not that we can get the app to give us different numbers. We'll have to kind of look at our goals. So it has been quite an interesting one to help some people navigate because we've had to reassess some goals with the numbers that have come from it. So to actually answer you, Debbie, the thing is with the app, it will adjust everything with, so it's not thinking TDEE minus 10% or 15% or anything. It's literally going, what's your goal? When's it for? And then it'll give you your numbers that way. So you really have to kind of play about with it. So this is giving me like 3 pounds in 21 days. I'll put it by the end of April into my calendar. I'll choose the balanced macros, which we would, oh, sorry, I'm not even showing you, which would recommend to most people. And moderate exercise would recommend that to most people. That is you really aiming for. So let's park the challenge just in general, aiming for strength training at least 3 times a week. Strength training is for, yes, it's for aesthetics, but it's not just that. Like it's for your bone health, like osteoporosis, osteopenia, all things we have to think about. Sarcopenia, the loss of muscle as we age. We can't, well, osteoporosis and osteopenia, you can actually stop that. Sarcopenia, we can't really stop that because it is something inevitable that is going to happen to us as we age, but we can definitely slow that down. And as I shared at the very start, if you were on, like we have women in our 80s with sculpted, gorgeous, muscular bodies. And a lot of them, they only started training recently. Like it hasn't been something that they've been doing all the time. So it's never, never, ever too late to start a muscle building journey. And I think we're finally getting somewhere to know that it doesn't make you bulky. Like you have to try really hard to get bulky. I was a bodybuilder. I tried to get as bulky as I could, and I never was as bulky as I could because it's really very hard to do it. It definitely does not happen overnight. So you really don't have to worry about that. But there's so much more than how we look, as we come into this time in our life. It's the outside, but it's also the inside. Keep everything very strong. And one thing for me, and like I am pregnant, but I'm still keeping up my training. And I'm very passionate, but I want to sort of share my training journey on social media. At the same time, I am updating my qualifications. I do have a pre and postnatal qualification, but I'm updating it with the most amazing curriculum of all the up-to-date sort of studies and research, which really, really supports women training while in pregnancy. Because, you know, even with me knowing I can do it, I still definitely had fear, like in my first trimester. And just I still will have worries and have concerns that I'm kind of counteracting by getting the correct data so I can train, so I can still look after my body and look after my baby, etc. But one of the things I've had for some people online, they're like, stop the weights, stop training. The baby's more important, you know, and I expected it and it's to come. But somebody messaged me, and they're really well intended and it's very, very kind. But it was basically like, stop training. The baby's more important. But it was so funny because I was like, more important than what? Because I was like, for me to stop training and I'm just doing my regular training program, I'm not going any heavier. I've the same training program and I'm going lighter a lot of the time. But for me to stop doing that would actively now be choosing to become physically weaker, cardiovascularly less fit. Um, my physical strength really helps. My mental strength, when I feel physically strong, I feel mentally strong. But it would be to choose to decrease all this good physical, emotional, cardiovascular strength, which I don't think would be good for my baby. And especially in labor, like, oh my gosh, the marathon, if anything, it would be to choose to decrease all of those things, the good stuff that comes from it, it didn't quite click in my mind. So for you guys, we just really want to help you get that both. Let's work the inside, let's work the outside of the strength training. Cardio is a good idea, trying to keep some cardio in, at least sort of 30 minutes a day. And if you're doing that, then your moderate exercise is pretty much right for you. So let's see this goal. Okay. So this gave me a calorie amount of 1,128 calories. We really wouldn't recommend that anyone drops below 1,200 calories when they're dieting. And I don't want to eat that little. So the app told me the app is telling me what it will take to get the goal. So again, I told it my goal, I told it my fat loss goal, and I told it when I wanted it by. So it gave me what it is. So it's no biggie. I would just go back in, I would re-enter my data, and I would just have a play about with it. I would just be moving my dates in the calendar, moving things around to find a calorie amount that I'm happy to eat to. I think I could stick to it. I think I could be consistent and go for it. So Debbie, for you, have a play about with it. You know, whatever your goal is of your fat loss goal, play about with that calendar and just really find an amount that it's going to be a deficit because you chose the fat loss goal, but it's a deficit that you feel you could stick to. Now, of course, in the Buns and Guns challenge, we have it that weeks 1 to 3 is 1,500 calories, weeks 4 to 6 is 1,400 calories, and weeks 7 to 8 is 1,300 calories. So we've got that calorie drop and deficit built into that. But if anybody's sort of going it alone, so to say, just sort of, well, not, I don't like that wording, just sort of doing your own thing in the app, aside from the challenge, then that is what you can do there. So I hope that has helped. Jade, for anyone that might find this helpful, I've been eating 1/4 cup dry roasted soybeans once daily, and as advised by a nutritional dietitian, and using wild yam, oh, I've heard of that, cream twice daily for a few months, and the night sweats, hot flashes have completely disappeared. That's good. So that, and I love that what you've shared, because soybeans, tofu, there's been so much fear mongering and myths around soy and the phytoestrogens, which is in them, and women being fearful of them, again, sort of connections that somehow they've got from plant proteins to sometimes so breast cancer way over here, where actually they can be something that really, really help with the hot flashes, with the drop in estrogen, which is being produced less in our body as our ovaries start to ramp down that production of estrogen. Then we can actually, through phytoestrogens, support that through our diet there. So thank you for sharing that. Really, really good. Okay, brilliant. People are saying about the coaching upgrade for Buns and Guns. So yes, you will get an email about that. We will get that real going out to you with it. Claudia, you're saying your start button's not working. Let me look into that, because somebody else said that today. So I've written that down, and I will look into that right after this call. and pester our developers if I find that. Lorraine's asking, I don't know if this makes sense, but can you still put in your goal and use the meal plans in the app? I know what you mean. Okay. Let me think about that. I'll answer this in a couple of different ways, Lorraine, and you might get your answer in one of them. So when anyone uses the thing that I just showed you, what will I call it? It's like your macro calculator. So when anybody uses the macro calculator that I just showed you, it logs into like the little dashboard, which is the little pink and white jobby here. Yeah, so it loads your amounts into there. Whenever you select one of the meal plans, so we've got vegan, vegetarian, and omnivore meal plans, which are all parts of Buns and Guns. We have a whole other meal plan section of general meal plans, which are going to be from 1,400 to 2,000 calories. Vegan, vegetarian, omnivore, they're all coming very, very soon. So we're going to have that section all sitting for you, as well as actually the meal plans, which are part of the challenge. Whenever you choose any of them, they will get logged into your dashboard here, so that the calorie amounts are here, that you can log the meals each day. So as you eat your breakfast, you can check it off, your post-workout shake or snack, check it off, lunch, dinner, evening snack, or you could swap that for afternoon snack. Or you can delete a meal and then add your own meal in from the recipe book or from the scanner or anything like that. That all loads in that dashboard. But one question I had asked when they were developing this for us, whenever you remove that meal plan, it will go back to actually the last set of macro calculations that you did before that. And you can change that at any time. Now, to answer your question, put in your goal and use the meal plans in the app. Let me think. Yes and no. Because let's say your goal said the colors that you got told by selecting your goal maybe said 1,600 calories. Then if you were to select one of the meal plans, it would cancel that out to be whatever that amount of calories are in that meal plan. Now, when we have the general meal plans, they might be coming more towards next week, that section, just have to get some things tidied up with it. It would have 1,600 calorie meal plans. It would have 1,700, 1,800, 1,900, where you actually could calorie drop that way. You could choose one of the 1,600, then another week choose a 1,500, then 1,400. So you can always kind of calorie drop down through them. So you could use them when they come with the meal plans. At the moment, if you chose a meal plan which wasn't the calorie amount of your goal, it is going to kind of cancel out to that. What I would do instead, though, is then if you wanted to really stick to those specific macros and goals that you got, is build your own meal plan from the recipe book. You can, when we go to log meals, we have the recipe book at the top that we can scroll through. Oh, and the meal plans are made up of all the recipes in this recipe book. This may or may not interest you, but we are adding a lot of low protein recipes to the app in the next week or so. We have a lot of members, it seems, with sort of chronic kidney disease. So they have to be very careful eating low protein diet. So we're adding that in there. We have gluten-free recipes. We have high fiber recipes. We have low carb recipes. What else have we got? I've got things labeled omnivore and vegan and are vegetarian as well. So I've got loads in there. You can build meal plans from recipe book. You can scan barcodes of food to add it in, like MyFitnessPal. You can scan like the ingredients of an item, which will enter things in there, and you can sort of build your meal plan in that way. So it's a yes and no answer. In time, I think you'll have more meal plans, bar buns and guns, to help you achieve your goals, which aren't just part of 1500, 1400, and 1300. And in the meantime, you can create your own meal plan with that. Claudia, I did put that information in, and my goal by June to lose 40 pounds to give me 12,000 calorie recipes, which are great. So great, perfect. As long as you choose something that will you can stick to. That's the most important thing, something that we can stick to and be consistent with. Jade, are the follow along cardio and training videos new or from a previous program? So we've got a lot of old, but a lot of new. So there's a massive library in there of workouts that mainly workouts that I have created in the past in our sculpted vegan programs, but I am not the star of the show anymore. I'm definitely at this baby bump. I won't be recording any more workouts anytime soon. So we've got now the amazing Amy, who's been doing so well. She's recorded new dumbbell workouts. She's recording more HIIT workouts tomorrow. She's recorded ab workouts as well. And we've just actually finalized today. We are creating a web page for our Sculpted Menopause website where we're creating like a work with us situation, a work with us work. I don't know what word I was going for there. It's a work for us, a work with us web page. And we're going to do an instructor call out. So what we're going to start to do is we're looking to instruct instructors from all around the world, like anywhere in the world. Because at the moment we're just using Belfast instructors, but anyone that could be in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, as long as people have like a good recording space, they're experienced online fitness instructors. And we're looking for instructors in the world of strength, dance, calisthenics, strength training, cardio, Pilates, yoga. So we're going to have like a whole team of instructors and libraries. So probably like 50-50 at the moment. 50-50 workouts you've maybe seen before, but then brand new dumbbell cardio and especially yoga. We're really building out yoga. And if you look carefully enough in the yoga, you can see Kim. Back in the day, Kim's yoga classes are in there as well. But there'll be more instructors and more coming. Okay, we've got 3 more minutes. I'm just going to go back to the group because 2 people did ask me questions there, and I do not want to miss their questions. Charlotte Morris had asked, in the nutrition part of the app, if you're following the meal plan for Buns and Guns, but you switch out a single meal and make your own meal and add it in, does it track? Yes. So you can swap a meal in and out. No, so you can delete a meal from the meal plan, and then you can add a meal back in. You just have to do a bit of scrolling through the recipe book to try and find something of very, very similar calories. Or you could create your own meal by scanning in ingredients or adding ingredients. Again, just trying to make to the same amount of calories. Yeah. So we've got that, and then Coriana had asked how many of the recipes are vegan. Will there be plenty of variety? Ooh, I think at this point we're really about like I think we're about 50-50 in the way of 50% vegan and 50% omnivore for recipes. I'm kind of going to lump the vegetarian recipes in with the vegan because really, to be honest, any recipes in the app which really are vegetarian or any of our recipes made with egg, we don't do anything with dairy. That's really the only vegetarian. So anything that is vegan, a vegetarian would eat, really with it. And then anything that's omnivore, a vegetarian or vegan, I don't think is going to eat. Or you maybe like a real mixture of everything. So we've got 50-50 within it, but there's over 450 recipes. So yes, there is so many, many, many varieties. Gianna, is there a tutorial for the app? I'm trying to think of all different places. So yes, in the app, I just added today in the Buns and Guns section. So I'll give you a last little tour of the Buns and Guns section. So we have basically a Buns and Guns folder in the app. There's a start here, which probably most people won't start here with, but if they do start here, I have recorded a 15-minute long app tutorial showing everything in this. This is how you log and track your meal plans, log and track your programs, how you track cardio as a habit in the app, how the community works, how the leaderboard works. What else have I got in there? Coaching calls where they will be if you upgrade to them. challenge rules, challenge signs, everything. So that's really, really good. If you're a newbie to the app, while I am talking about buns and guns, it teaches you everything about how to track and log the app. So that is in there. And it did take me 15 minutes and a lot of video editing because there is quite a lot. There's a lot of like kind of things to get about. But one thing I'll say about the app, the best way to get to know how to use the app, no, the best way to get to know the app is to use the app. The more you use it, it is like things like this are so overwhelming at the start. And you're like, oh, where's everything? And like, where's the injury programs? And where's the meal plans? And what does this do? And this is frozen. And like, this isn't playing. It's a bit like, oh, you can feel a little bit lost, but the more you do it, you just kind of find your flow and everything is really in the one place. You just have to kind of go down some rabbit holes once, but once you get it, you know where it is. And I have to say, like, even people who have been very confused at the start of the app, a week or so in, they're absolute pros. Like they've really, really got a hang of it. So tutorial there. And why I drifted off into space then when I was thinking about that question. Let me just check if there's any in the Facebook groups. In Kim's masterclass with Elka that she showed on Sunday, which is in the Mastering Perimenopause to Menopause group, she does show a lot of the app at the end, which I guess the class is a bit of a tutorial. And then if you're part of the Sculpted Vegan Insiders, did Kim do a live in there? Let me just look. Yeah, there's a live in there which has a bit of a demo as well. So actual demo in the app, and then there's kind of a couple of demos floating about everywhere else as well. Okay, so and Claudia, last question. If someone has never done weights routine at a gym, how and what do we do to take our laptops with us? Oh, this is a good question. Okay, so for the gym, it probably will be handiest to take your phone and to use your phone when you're in the gym. But what you could do before, because I know a lot of you are enjoying using it on the web. So to wrap a couple of common questions into this one, people were asking if they could use it on their iPads and or Android equivalents. I'm not into the all the ins and outs of everything, but unfortunately at the moment, which I don't know the answer why, because obviously you can get your app store, but basically app creation is very complicated. There's like a web version, a a a tablet version, a mobile version. There's all these different versions. So at the moment, there isn't an app version for like a tablet, but what you could do, or a tablet. Now, what you could do if you have a tablet, you could probably take something like that to the gym because it's bigger, but it's not like super, super big. But on the likes of your tablet or your computer or your laptop, you can use the web version of the app. You just go to www.thesculptedmenopause.com. In the top right-hand corner, we have a login, and it just looks like any of the app sign-ins. You enter your email, you enter your password, and you can use like the web version of the app. And I know a lot of people are actually enjoying, and that's your preference for it. So what I would do first on that, before you go to the gym, is I would use that to become familiar with the training routine. I would also choose one of the beginner plans. So what is the difference between all of these plans? So bar the days, 3-day, 4-day, 5-day. We have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. How I created these. A beginner, I imagine somebody who'd never been in a gym before and what they would feel like. And I know what I feel like if I even go to a different gym. Like I've just joined the gym around the corner for convenience, and I feel kind of shy. I feel kind of intimidated. It's a real bodybuilder gym, which I love, and it's got real just like really cool machines that I like, but like it doesn't say what the machine is. It has no instructions. And I'm like, what is that? I have to kind of guess. And even some of the machines, I'm going to have to ask somebody next week, like what some of them are, because I actually don't know what they are. So like it's confusing. So the beginner routines are very simple. They're made up of a lot of machine exercises because in a commercial gym, a lot of the time those machines will say what the machine is. Unlike this gym, I'm going to say it'll say the body part, it will have instructions, I'll have like little visuals on it so you know what muscle you're working. And there's something you don't kind of feel as self-conscious kind of sitting on a machine and just sort of adjusting a pin. Whereas when you're maybe with working with a free bar, we have to load plates onto it and clips and squat racks and Smith machines and kind of more contraptions. It just can feel pretty intimidating. So it's just a mixture of body weight exercises, machine exercises, um, a little bit of free weights, which is like barbells, dumbbells. So they're not like a machine, but again, not much, because I know a lot of women can feel intimidated when they walk into the weight sections. So it's kind of something very designed to help you get your confidence up. Intermediate is for someone who has more confidence in the gym. You've been training for a while, you're walking in, you're feeling more comfortable, you kind of know more where everything is, what you've been doing. You've maybe been training for coming up to a year, but it might not even be that. Depends how long you get more confident. And it has more of a mixture of machines. It does have the Smith machine in it, which is a brilliant machine once you get the hang of it, which really helps you go to failure, fight a spotter. It's like a bar which sort of slides up and down in a cage and kind of hook it on and off. It'll have more free weights, which is barbells and dumbbells, because again, you're more confident, you're happy enough going into that weights area. And then we have the advanced program, which is someone who's very experienced, very confident. They don't mind hogging the Smith machine, pulling a bench over, getting a weight from over there, telling people to leave them alone. They've got more sets today. It's got everything in it, and kind of more advanced movements like pull-ups, chin-ups, just more kind of complex movements, because you're up for that with it. So we've got them in there. So Claudia, I would start with one of the beginner options, because kind of thought of making that as appeasable to people as possible. And what I would do first at home and on your laptop is any of these little pictures. If you click on that, you get instructional videos, and these will show you the exercises, how to do them, what to do them, all the tips in it. And I've just kind of become familiar with them. So you sort of know what things look like and what they are. And you can kind of watch them on like the bigger screens. I know that's kind of the appeal of the web browser, but probably going in the gym, your phone or something would be a little bit handier. Hopefully you'd have some internet connection. You could still then refer to everything, but maybe it's more like a quick glance rather than having to really dive into it. I think that would be the most convenient with it. And the last one for tonight, last but not least, Jana, is there a 14-day trial that could convert to annual if someone chooses? So we don't have any trials at all. And Kim gives such a good explanation of this yesterday. The reason we don't do trials is that, as I shared at the start of this call, we're not just trying to get thousands and thousands of people to join this app at this really cheap price and we just herd everybody in and off you go. We're still trying to teach this like a program with the level of support in our communities, structured programs to get structured results. We're here to get you results. We're not just trying to get you in and just leave you to do whatever you want. We want you to do whatever you want, but we want you to do it in such a way that you get a result from that. So we're going to keep an eye on you and make sure you're on the right track with it. So we're not here to wow you with all the features and all the different things. We're here to get you to join and get you results. Like any of our programs. Like if you think about it, Jana, because I know you've been part of our other company, the Sculpted Vegan, it's not like we had 14-day trials of our programs. You're either in or you're out. You're doing the program, you're not doing the program. And that is what the Sculpted Menopause is. It's a program. It's not just this random kind of app with it. So we're in to get you results. And what we know, even if you started at the start of the call, what I shared about our challenges and our programs and the thing and the desire of myself and Kim all the time and all of the coaches, it's always trying to get you to finish something, to stick to something. And when there's these 7-day trials, 14-day trials, 1 month memberships, people just don't stick to it. When it's the likes of like a 3-month membership, 12-month membership, where people truly commit and go all in, then when you do kind of him and han, you can't really be bothered sometimes. There's always a time when you come back to it because you're like, well, I paid for it, I may as well did it. Or I'm paying for it, I may as well do it. So there is the aspect of that. And what we find with our programs, and to be honest, why our programs are a lot, let's be honest, a lot more times expensive than what they used to be. So we used to just churn out these $97 programs all the time. when you pay more for something and invest more in something, like I know, like the items of clothing in my closet, or the first car that I actually bought and I didn't borrow off my parents, the things that I really invested money into, which were like mine, and it kind of stung, it cost me, like I felt it when I bought it. They were the things I took care of the most. They're the things that you stick to the most. They're the things that you commit to the most, because it is an investment in it. So we don't have trials because, and again, Jana, you do know our sort of, I hope you know our programs do work. The products that we create are very, very high quality. So it is kind of that real, like your in or your out. But we hope that when you join, you can join for the 12 weeks and kind of try it that way. And then you can leave. But we hope that once you join, you'll be like, huh, I'm never leaving. This thing's pretty good. So let me my baby brain, I need to come to my launch document. Prices, my brain cannot retain numbers at the moment. So we have, of course, just to wrap up tonight. I know many of you joined the app, which is absolutely amazing. But for anybody who hasn't, we have our 12-month option that you can go in. It is $49 a month, or upfront it is $499. That's with the 50% discount. Or if you do want to just join for buns and guns, or you do just want to join for the 12 weeks and just see how it is, because you're not sure. And of course you're not sure because it's something new, then it is $97 a month for the 3 months, or $249 in full. And again, that is the 50% off. And in general, if you're part of the app, the coaching, we will be sending out an email soon. If you do maybe just want to add that small group Zoom coaching on just for the duration of the challenge. So keep your eye out for that. And apart from that, Dr. Rachel. So tomorrow, 7 p.m., last of our calls in this. Hers isn't really an ask before you buy call. I just really wanted her to do a call and just really showcase her amazingness and really give you an opportunity to experience Rachel, Dr. Rachel, even if you're never going to join the app, it doesn't matter. I just would really love everybody to have that experience of free advice from an amazing doctor. She is absolutely on hand. And actually, I'm saying me, no, Dr. Rachel messaged me last week actually, because she was reading all the comments in the group. I think somebody one of the coaches had posted from the Team Sculpted account asking what people were struggling with. And it was all the menopause symptoms. And Rachel messaged me and she's like, I think the ladies need an Ask a Doctor call. It was so sweet. So she offered, she wanted to help. So that'll be tomorrow, 7 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern. If you can't join, the graphic is under featured, pinned in the Facebook group. Pre-ask your question there. If the call is very busy, she will have to prioritize people on live. But hopefully she can maybe get to some of those questions as well. Okay, guys, lots of love to you. So lovely to see your faces. I will see some of you on the small group coaching calls and on the onboarding call next week. But any questions, again, we're completely on hand. And if you don't buy the app, we're still here. This mastering perimenopause to menopause group is going to stay open. Kim is going to be starting live Q&As in the group. So if you just want to still hang around with us, we wanted to create this group so it wasn't one of those crazy menopause groups of apple cider vinegar and like eat more sugar floating about. We want this to be like a good place for information. Yeah, okay. Have a great evening and I will see you soon. Thank you.